So this is what the old media never want to talk about. Lomachenko. Now I believe Lomachenko is probably the number 2 pound for pound today, maybe number 3. But he definitely on the top 3. One thing for sure, he is not number 1. That's Terrence Crawford all day. Now, Lomachenko, he's a great fighter. Ever since he turned pro, I was telling everybody that he's a pound for pound potential. And that's what he turned out to be. However, the media always tend to push things over the edge. I mean, Lomachenko is great. I mean, that's obvious. But saying and stating crazy statements like, oh, he the greatest fighter ever since Muhammad Ali, when you had the Sugar Ray Leonards at the time, when you had fighters like Roy Jones come after Muhammad Ali, who the most gifted fighter of all time, in my opinion. When you have fighters like Floyd Mayweather, when you have Crawford of all time right now, how good he is, but you're going to surpass all these fighters and say Lomachenko is the greatest fighter since Muhammad Ali. According to Bob Arum, obviously he's trying to promote Lomachenko, but at the same time, why you don't try to promote Crawford the same way? You know what I mean? So the media always makes Lomachenko as a fighter that's better than what he is, even though he's great. Don't get me wrong. I believe he's an elite fighter. He's not an A-level fighter. He's an elite fighter. He is above an A-level fighter. I believe Floyd Mayweather is above an elite fighter. You know what I mean? It's just levels to this shit. So Lomachenko is an elite fighter, no doubt about it. But he's not what the media is trying to make him out to be. Now, I like Lomachenko. Lomachenko is a very humble person. This is more toward his fans, or the biased fans more so, who overrates a fighter that shouldn't be overrated, because he's already great. Just give him his credit is good enough. You don't got to do more. And even Lomachenko agrees with me, because Lomachenko himself said that Crawford is number 1 pound for pound, not him. So obviously Lomachenko co-signs what I'm saying, not his fans or his biased fans that trying to boost him up, because he knows damn well what time it is. And he don't even want that type of pressure being on him. But let's get to it. So Lomachenko, on one hand, you know, he a great fighter, has a great style, but one thing for sure, he never avenged his loss versus Salido. And that's a fact. He could have did, but he said, I don't need to fight Salido. I don't need to beat Salido. I already surpassed him. It's like, really? There's one guy you lost to, but you don't want to fight him again? And that's when Lomachenko almost had like 7 to 8 fights, when people was talking about he pound for pound number 1 already. When Andre Ward was still fighting. And he just knocked out Kovalev. And when Crawford was being talked about as the new pound for pound number 1, and that could be that guy after Andre Ward retired, right? Lomachenko said that he don't need the Salido rematch, and that Salido priced himself out when he tried to make that fight happen. Priced himself out? He wanted a fair split. He ain't gonna fight you for chump change when people say you the pound for pound number 1, you the money machine, you this, you that. And when he asked for his share because he already beat you, you got something he won't, give him at least a 50-50 split. That's the least you could do, in my opinion. On the other hand, they even lowballed Salido in the rematch. That's why Salido didn't take the rematch, saying I ain't that stupid to take a fight like that while y'all trying to lowball me and I already beat the guy. You know what I mean? So Lomachenko ducked Salido. And I don't want to hear nobody say, oh, really Lomachenko won, because Lomachenko himself admitted he lost that fight. And I don't know what the hell one judge saw, but Salido took him to school and he refused to fight Salido in a rematch. Maybe because it's a bad style matchup, but Salido is already washed up. So he let somebody else retire him when he should have been the man that did that and avenged his loss, right? Lomachenko should have went to Bob Arum and told him, I'll fight Salido for free. Matter of fact, give him whatever he wants. Even if he want a 70-30 split, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Let alone a 50-50 split. So Lomachenko definitely ducked Salido. And that's when people was already saying Lomachenko is number 1 pound for pound in the world. And he lost to Salido, and he didn't even want to give or rematch Salido, right? Then, fast forward like, a year or two, he ducked a Manny Pacquiao fight. His reasoning was, I don't want to be the man that retired a legend like Manny Pacquiao. It's not fair. Oh yeah? That's your reasoning? First, it was the weight. And then when Pacquiao said, he gonna fight him at a catch weight where Lomachenko feel comfortable at, then Lomachenko excuse after that was, I turned it down because I didn't want to retire a legend or beat up on an idol of mine. It's like, really, Lomachenko? So you gonna give Keith Thurman that opportunity? You gonna give Broner that opportunity? What's a more dangerous fight for Pacquiao? A Keith Thurman, who's a one-punch knockout artist at 147 at welterweight, or a Lomachenko who couldn't even knock out Pedraza? Stop playing. We know what time it is with Lomachenko. He ducked that fight. He didn't want no smoke with an old grandpa Pacquiao. But y'all gonna tell me Lomachenko is the greatest fighter since Muhammad Ali? And forget about Roy Jones and Floyd Mayweather? How disrespectful is that statement? Is what I'm trying to point out. How disrespectful it is to say that Lomachenko is the number 1 pound for pound today when Lomachenko already himself admitted that he's not. That Crawford is. How disrespectful it is when Lomachenko already lost the fight, haven't accomplished what Crawford accomplished, haven't been in the game as long as Crawford and did what Crawford did, but he's the number 1 pound for pound, even though he co-signs that Crawford is. And when Crawford made it clear that if y'all think Lomachenko number 1 pound for pound, I'll fight him at a catch weight. I'll fight him at 137.5. And where Lomachenko fights at right now? 135. That's 2.5 pounds. He could have made that happen, but Lomachenko, his team said absolutely not. We don't want that smoke. We know Crawford is the better man, basically, right? Now, all I'm saying is, y'all can't have it both ways. He can't be this fighter that's everybody avoiding him, and he's ducking a Pacquiao fight and a Salido rematch, and they both old. You know what I mean? So don't tell me Keith Thurman is not more dangerous fight for Pacquiao than a Lomachenko. Because Lomachenko, if anything, he gonna school Pacquiao. He ain't gonna knock out Pacquiao. Like I said, Lomachenko hit Pedraza in the 11th round with like 100 punches. 100 punches. And all he managed to do is knock the person down. We know he don't got power like that, but let Max tell it. Oh, he a knockout artist. Let Max tell it. He number 1 pound for pound. Let Max tell it. Our favorite fighters to watch are Golovkin and Lomachenko. It's like, who are you to speak for everyone? If that's the case, why is Lomachenko not a pay-per-view star right now? Why is Golovkin ducking people left and right, and you said he was this monster that everybody avoiding at the time? When he ducked Andre Ward when he got presented with that fight, just like Lomachenko ducked Manny Pacquiao when he got presented with that fight as well. So all I'm saying is, quit overhyping fighters that don't need to be overhyped. Like, Lomachenko is a good fighter. Let him prove himself. Stop putting pressure on the man where he can't perform to the standards y'all put him into, because now we have him at a high standards where we gotta criticize him for everything. If y'all just leave it to, he's a top 3 pound for pound fighter, nothing but respect. We're gonna praise Lomachenko all day. But then when you say Lomachenko is greater than this and greater than that, he greater than Floyd, when he would have definitely got smoked by Floyd, now we put him at a standard he definitely won't live up to. Think about it. Golovkin at the time, And Golovkin is not even as half as good as Lomachenko, obviously. But Golovkin, they tried to say he was the pound for pound #1. He was fighting bums, tomato cans. Then they put him at a standard where he's not at, right? And he got all this criticism, and he ended up being the most hype and overrated fighter of our era, because they had him on the top 25 greatest fighters of the past 25 years. They had him listed at 14, I think. And he shouldn't even, and he doesn't even belong on the list, because he haven't earned a damn thing even at the time. Now, fast forward to present day, he lost to Canelo twice, or one time, and then one time was a draw. He really lost to Jacob, and now he ducking left and right, ducked the Charlo smoke, avoided Andre, fighting a tomato can. So it's like, aren't we right? Exactly. So quit putting pressure on your own fighters that y'all like Lomachenko, saying he this, he that, either for promotion or to piss off people. Whatever y'all do is gonna fire back at y'all, because like I said, when you put a fighter on that type of plateau, he always got to perform to that level. If Lomachenko start winning fights, even big fights, but he looking bad in there, you can't compare him to Floyd, because Floyd Mayweather always dominated his competition, no matter who it is. So like I said, just give the guy the credit he deserves, and don't overhype the person, because it's always going to come back and bite the fighter in the ass, not you. You know what I mean? The only thing is going to hurt you is your feelings going to get hurt when you make statements like, oh, Lomachenko better than Manny Pacquiao. But if he moves up to 147 pounds, he gets smoked probably by a B-level fighter. Then what you going to say then? And funny enough, Bob Arum said the same thing about Floyd. And then he got Manny Pacquiao. He said, oh, Manny Pacquiao the greatest fighter since Muhammad Ali. So we already know what time it is with Bob Arum and Max Kellerman. If it ain't white, it ain't right. So because they did get a good fighter, a great fighter, matter of fact, which is Lomachenko, now they're over here trying to make him seem like he's Muhammad Ali. So like I always say, subscribe below if you're trying to get smart about him, and if you're trying to get dumb about it, say get don't listen to these casual ass fans or Max Kellerman or Bob Arum, who's 90 years old and still talking like he's 30 years old. Peace. We outie.